I want to peel away another layer here and just focus in on this iterative sort of write-back cycle over on the right-hand side. So we've got our Qlik app loaded up with data and held in memory, and that's based on the user's selections. And when the user makes selections, we've got a remaining subset of data, and that is pushed into a hypercube and then visualized within the HTML pop-up window, which is where users edit data. Now, when we've finished making our data edits and hit save, the Node.js app hosting that API receives input JSON data. The app constructs those SQL queries to insert that data into the writeback database. So note here that the API needs a dedicated port to run on that Qlik Sense server. The Node app authenticates with the SQL database via a service account. We can actually enable Windows authentication there as well. But yeah, we can either use a username and password authentication, or we can use Windows authentication. Now on the database side, each instance of the extension in a Qlik Sense app, it'll have 3 tables in the SQL database that are associated with it. The latest edits for each unique record are going to be stored in the data table. And then all of the historical edits, they'll be stored in the history table. And we'll take a closer look at exactly why it's set up like that shortly. So once those edits are committed, a sort of confirmation or response is sent to the writeback app that the update has taken place in the database. The Qlik Engine API initiates a partial reload of the application. So load statements that are specific to partial reloads are run in the Qlik load script. So those are the add, replace, or is partial reload functions, and we'll also take a look at those shortly. And that edited data is pulled back into Qlik into memory. So now this cycle can happen, as often as needed. It could be constantly throughout the day. It might just be to support a month-end process, for example. And then just a quick note on concurrent usage. So we have an inbuilt queuing mechanism that will stagger the Qlik reloads should multiple users try and perform a writeback at the same time. So we can have multiple users, we can have dozens or hundreds of users that are all using the same Qlik app and are all making edits. And each time they commit those edits and a partial reload is triggered, those partial reloads will be staggered so that they don't conflict with each other.